Is that steady there? Yeah.
Yeah, it should be okay. So it's just a bit of an introduction.
Okay.
I've been working in marketing for about 10 years now. I did my MBA in business administration. I took majors as marketing. And I've been working in social media for about 4 years. I've been handling 30 accounts on my own. And I've created 10 websites. Blogging for 5 years. At the moment, doing freelance work.
Okay.
This was something that I created for my previous companies. It's just an example of content for social media.
Right.
So this was one of the posts that we shared for that company. Okay, so today we'll be talking more about digital marketing. We'll only be focusing on website and social media, which is what you want, right?
Yeah.
So other aspects of digital media are profile, which is also really important. I'll touch on that later. Mobile phone is mainly SMS marketing, and then there's email marketing, which I'm doing a lot in my current job, and blogging. So
Okay.
all these are important aspects of digital marketing. Digital marketing is really important these days because more than half of the media that we all consume comes from digital sources. So it happens sometimes that we don't read newspapers or we don't watch TV, but each one of us has his or her phone with them all the time, and we're checking out news over there. There are a lot of advantages which I'm sure you're aware of. The main one is targeting specific consumers. So in the traditional modes of marketing, we couldn't really target consumers separately, like watching television or let's say on billboards. It's just basically mass marketing. You cannot target specific consumers. So here with digital marketing, you can do that. You can literally set up demographics and then target exactly the customers that you want to reach out to. And then the most important part is free or very low price. It's amazing how a Facebook page costs nothing. You can just set it up and it's literally really helpful. So price is a major advantage. Ability to optimize, measurement and testing. So all this has to do with analytics and insights. All social media platforms, they all have insights. So whatever you advertise, you can then later look back and see how successful that campaign was. Even though there are a lot of advantages, still we see a lot of people who are not active on social media. So that is because of some challenges. The first one is technology. So like technology, it keeps changing all the time. I remember a decade earlier there used to be a social media platform which was probably the first one in the industry called Orkut. Do you remember?
Yeah, so that's a long time.
Yeah, so it was like everywhere and everybody was talking about it, and only a decade later nobody even remembers that it existed. So it happens even with social media these days, like every other day or let's say every month there's something new that comes up, so it's sort of hard to keep up. And the insights and the analytical tools which we just talked about, those are not that easy to make sense out of. So for a layman it could be a little complicated, so that's another challenge. And then obviously it's the mindset. That's with anything. So as we get older we sort of like resist changes, so that's another challenge. With anything there has to be objectives, of course. So why should we be active on digital media? One of the reasons could be that we want to drive our sales or leads. One of the main objectives is that you create brand awareness. Normally social media is not used to sell your products, it's just to create brand awareness or just to create curiosity. This is the point that I love the most. So I think that the purpose of digital media is just to give you a teaser of the products, just to create curiosity, so customers, you want them coming back to you,
right,
to your website, which is your main aim. So my aim is clicks on the website as a blogger, and that could work for you too. Okay, this is an example of profile that we mentioned earlier on the first page. So I really believe that every business should have a profile. So this is basically a one-page profile which tells you all about the company at a glance. All we do, all our products, services and contacts. So at one glance, everybody should know what you're all about. And I strongly feel that every company should have a profile on its website. It's very important. So let's move on to website, which is probably the most important part of digital media. And why do you need it? Obviously customers expect it, your competition has it. That's why it's very important. And a website really makes your life easy. So every time I've attended a corporate event, you have all these customers who run up to you and they're like asking you so many questions. It's like literally overwhelming. So having a website makes your life easy because you can just tell them their answer and then all you say is it's all on the website.
Yeah, sure.
So that's easy. Benefits, credibility, that's the most important thing. People know that you're a legit company. You think global. So even if you're a small business, once you have a website, you're literally global. Anybody could see you. Cost effective, like we discussed before, 24/7 availability. So even if you have an online store, that's the more beneficial. Like customers can shop at night. There are no close timings, so it's very convenient. And it obviously opens up broader sales because you get sales at night as well. Gives business an online lift. So this is really important. Like for your social media presence and for your, like let's say overall you're in your digital presence, what you do is that you do cross posting. So on your website, you give links of your social media, and on your social media you give links for your website. So with the website, it gives you an online lift, and it is all in one platform and it's easy to access. So this is why everyone should have a website. Now let's see what all you need to have for that. So you can think of this from your side.
Yeah,
you got this sorted, you've got that. Hosting, you obviously have that structure of the website. This is the main tab. So your menu bar, do you want to have sub-menus, drop-downs or what? So this is about that. Working on the layout, so this is what we'll be doing later on in the second half today. So we'll be seeing what we can add on your website, which is the main theme. So this theme consistency, this is the other theme. This is the actual word in English, theme consistency. This is more like brand consistency.
Yeah,
so,
I'm pretty comfortable with all of that.
Yeah. Okay, so this is what we've already discussed, and I've got a link here. So in case you don't want to go for a small portfolio, one can always go for a proper company portfolio, which is what I did for my previous company, and it's just gonna come up. So this could be one option of how you want to take your profile. So this is what we had made. This was the main page, all about the company at one glance. And then your core objectives, values, mission. Then you could have your timeline. Customers are interested to know when did you start your business, things like that.
Sure.
It's just a way of doing it. And this was our CEO. So I thought that he was actually a public figure, and he had achieved a lot in his life. So I thought we could like make a timeline of his life, all that he's achieved.
Nice.
So the products, services, clients. And I'm showing you this because these can be used in any company.
Sure.
And CSR is really important, and that we'll discuss in detail. And this was the last page. So just an example of how a profile can be made. SEO, are you familiar with that?
Yes.
Yeah,
Search
so
engine optimization.
that's obviously important with websites.
Yeah.
It's very important to have a concise website. So after a lot of research and after a lot of experience of working in websites, I realized that your scroll bar, when you go down on your website, it shouldn't scroll more than, let's say, 2 to 3 seconds. If you keep going down on a website, it just shows that it's not concise. And so it's important to have a short and very concise main page of the website. And it should be updated regularly. We see a lot of companies who have a website, and then when you go to their event section, it's like 2014 event is taking place, and you're like thinking, oh god.
Yeah.
So it ruins your reputation. Connect your platforms, we talked about that. Pay attention to feedback. Normally, a lot of people use the contact section on the website, so they go there and then they leave feedback and they expect you to reply in time. Just some tips. So as you know, SEO is all about getting your website link on the first pages of Google. So our aim should be to get to the first page of results on Google. And for this, the important thing is to have keywords. So when you start a business, you write, let's say, about 10 keywords. Suppose your business is in textiles and it's in Halifax. So you make a list, textiles in Halifax, best clothes in Halifax. You come up with a list, let's say about 10.
Right.
And then you add those to your SEO. Or if you have an agent for that, you give him that. So he'll do that. First fold of the website. these days people don't have attention span, it's very, very short.
Mhm.
So the moment they look at your website or your social media, they want to make a decision within 2 seconds.
Mhm.
2 seconds, okay? So if first world is only this part of your website,
Mhm.
if it is attractive, they're gonna stick to it and they're gonna go down. If it doesn't get their attention, they're gonna move on with life. So this is very important. And it's one of the biggest challenges for a marketer. Right mix of text and images. You don't want it to look like a newspaper, so it has to be the right blend. Clarity of content. So as soon as somebody looks at your website, they should know what you're all about.
Right.
Clear call to action. Do you have an idea of what call to action means?
Sure. Oh yeah.
Sure. So this was a company that I worked for, and this was their call to action button, which was for customers to book appointments at the diagnostic center. So that should be clear. Quick and easy navigation. There are a few tips in that, like whenever you are in a website, when you scroll down, you should make sure that you have an go up button.
Mhm.
You might have seen it in some websites, so that's very important for navigation. Plus, there should be a clear button for home page. So if you click on there, they should be able to go to home page, things like that. Security is more important if you're selling products online, then you have to have another company like PayPal. But otherwise, even if you're not selling online, security is important from a hacking perspective. So if your accounts get hacked, then you would have severe consequences for that. Responsiveness, it means two things. One is how your customers, we don't know where they're going to access our website from, so it could be from a phone, iPad, or desktop. And responsiveness means that it automatically adjusts its size.
Right.
And the other thing is that you have to be very responsive to messages on social media and digital marketing on website. So these are some of the websites that I've created. I was thinking of going into that and showing you, but since the internet is not working, we could do that like later. In the end, I can show you this one. So this was the company website that I had created. It was there was a header on top, menu bar. It had a drop-down menu. Then news and events which were going on, like you could see them moving. About us, portfolio, product, services, and this was the main call to action button when people wanted to see a demo of our products, and then contacts and things like that. So these are just examples of other pages. This is my current blog page.
Yes, I've been on that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right, and this was my previous one.
Okay.
Although the layout was okay, but I was having some technical issues, so I had to move to this.
Are you in WordPress or are you?
WordPress.
Okay.
And just oh yeah, we were there. WordPress is also having another meetup
Yes.
this week. Are you gonna go?
No, I'm not, but
Okay.
yeah.
Cool.
Like,
I'm looking forward to that.
yeah, that's great.
Right. So now website is all done, and now we move on to social media. You wanted me to focus more on this, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because I've been working on websites for years and helping clients when they're getting new websites. So I'm pretty comfortable. I'm not a techie, but I'm pretty comfortable in that realm and the purpose of them and all that.
Okay.
So I'm interested in this in
Sure.
particular. Yeah.
So the definition is really simple and straightforward. It's just basically marketing your business on social media. The business strategies that you want to look at before entering social media is that you must know all the answer to all these. You obviously know your name, purpose. So all these must be sorted out. There has to be a logo, things like that. Okay, in social media, like especially on Facebook, you can set your target audience.
Right.
So you can literally, it's really detailed and it's really interesting.
Yes.
So you can set what your ideal customer's interests would be. So any person who's interested in reading and things like that, you can literally take that. So that's interesting. What social media platforms will you be choosing? This is a good question, and we'll come to that later. It's very important to know the answers of these before you start.
Sure.
Business profiles or personal profiles. A lot of people, like let's say bloggers and all, they keep using their personal profiles for their business. So we have to decide whether to do that or not.
Right.
This was just an article that I posted. By the way, what I'll do is that once I get home today or tomorrow, I'll send you those blog links also.
Okay.
So 2 of my articles are on this. It might help you. Okay. So in social media, one of the biggest challenges is that you have to be consistent. You have to post every day. And coming up with a new post every day is really challenging. So these are some ideas of how you can manage a post every day. So first is creating a content calendar. Have you ever heard about it?
Oh yeah, I've done them.
You've done
Yeah,
them?
yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool. I have some links also. Maybe I can share them a bit later. A great bio profile section. So what I see a lot is that people set up a page, right? But they don't really write anything about themselves. So that gives a really bad impression. So this is what I'm talking about. So this is an Instagram profile. Okay, and you have your own. So they only give you literally like 2 lines. You have to write everything about yourself in 2 lines.
Right.
But this is the most important part. As soon as somebody comes to your website, your social media, they see that. And same is the case with about section in Facebook, any platform. So that's very important. And the profile photo must be a very good quality photo. Different type of contents for each day. So how I feel is that, like we discussed earlier, people don't have a good attention span, so they'll get distracted. So in order to keep them glued to your pages, it's good to have a different content. Let's say what I do is I have, let's say, a motivational Monday image. Then I'll do a Tech Tuesday telling them something about technology. Then it could be Wisdom Wednesday. Just some different types of images every day. You could have testimonials, a video, inspiration image, concept, things like that. High quality images. So on social media you cannot afford to have blurry images. That's very important. Images are very important, so you can have different types of images. One day you could have a product image, one day a collage, events coming up. Text isn't very popular because people don't really look at text these days. But if you do want to do that, you could share quotes, industry update. One could always use these in images also. So you make a quote and you make like an image of that. So that's more popular than plain text. Related website links, you can always, YouTube is really helpful. You can share a lot of interesting and relevant things on your pages. You can share news updates, videos. So there are different types of videos. Are you familiar with any of these? There's a time lapse, boomerang tutorials, stories. That's the new thing. It's really, really important. So in Instagram, this is the story, which is the round thing. So you click on that and you can see what that person has been doing in the last 24 hours. Stories only last for 24 hours. Personal experience story. Okay, so this is something that I realized after a long time. If you're a business person and you're only talking about your company, your products and your business, you're not going to get a lot of customers because people cannot really relate to that. People like to see a personal touch in everything. So as a blogger, earlier on, I only used to write articles, share about organizing, things like that. I didn't have a lot of clients and customers. So recently what I did it was that I started sharing bits and pieces of my life. This is what I do, here's where I live and things like that. And I started getting a lot of audience. It just increased drastically. So this is very important. Even if you have a company, it's always good to share about, let's say, the owner or yourself, how your kids live. Like I know you don't want to share a lot of your personal stories. That's also a challenge. But it is important these days. Create events, hashtags. You're familiar with hashtags? Audio content, podcasts are really good. I personally really like podcasts.